Ferrari had a roller coaster of a run in the 2022 season by starting the season on a high with a 1-2 finish, but they lost out to their rivals by the fourth race, finishing runners-up in both championships. Obviously, things need to change at Ferrari. Mattia Binotto has left Ferrari, and that is not what I am going talking about in today's video. There remains more to be changed at Ferrari, and that has to be done around the car. At the season's end, Carlos Sainz pinpointed that the car should be much balanced between the race and qualifying sessions, rather than being focused on one of the either sessions. First of all, we have to get better in the Grand Prix. We had a recurring thing, so we didn't make good starts. In that fight with Lewis Hamilton in Abu Dhabi, I lost 5 or 6 seconds due to a poor start. That comment proves that major change is needed within the Ferrari car, and surprising leaks from Ferrari are suggesting that those needed changes are being made at Ferrari. With the 2023 season looming around, everyone wants to know how the cars of the 10 teams look like with the technical regulation changes accommodated. Ferrari had some spectacular and costly engine failures earlier in the campaign, including Charles Leclerc's blow-ups in Spain and Baku, plus Carlos Sainz's fiery exit in Austria. That prompted the need for a fix. That fix was started this season. The weak element in the power unit had been singled out as the spark plug within the pre-chamber. I won't go into the painfully complex reasons as to why this was the problem, because I don't quite understand them myself. The engine problem for dummies answer is that the spark plug got too hot and went bang. Well, that problem is now fixed and information is leaking out that the Ferrari engine is going to be a bomb in 2023, not in the same way as it was in 2022. The engine going to be a bomb kind of way with the problem fixed. The Ferrari engine can now be used at its highest settings, unlike for much of 2022. This has set the squad up for maximum performance from its engine in 2023, which could boost the chances of Ferrari coming back to championship winning ways. The engine performance was confirmed by Gunther Steiner, the Haas team principal. On Tuesday I saw Mattia Binotto and he told me that the engine for next season is going like a rocket. In Emilia-Romagna, there is a lot of support for Ferrari. If the engine is indeed competitive, that will also be positive for us. That means the engine for next year is a rocket. The Ferrari F1 2023 car will be a braking project with an aerodynamic line that will tend to move away from the concepts of the F175 to go in the Red Bull direction. And that will also require a different chassis and redesigned suspension for a different downforce. This will be most probable because of the success the Red Bull design has achieved, and due to the fact that most teams changed to Red Bull's philosophy in the mid of 2022 season. At this point, all the aerodynamic simulation work comes into play to understand how the new bellies, the 15mm raised bottom, and all the aerodynamics of the 2023 project will behave. According to the recent Pirelli 2023 tests in Abu Dhabi, Ferrari tested some prototype components for next year's new car. In Maranello, the scaled bodywork for wind tunnel tests is already at an advanced stage of production, and the complete physical model should make the first tests in the wind tunnel already in the coming weeks. The 2023 aerodynamic convergence towards Red Bull bellies is conditioned by new regulations that impose the edges of the bottom higher than 15mm. This new measure increases air infiltration into the undercarriage, causing a loss of ground effect that compromises the load. The shape of the bellies of the F175 was a good solution to reduce turbulence, but was not designed to better defend and shield the bottom of the car. The Red Bull conformation, on the other hand, with the bellies that have a down profile in the terminal part, changes the pressure map and allows an acceleration of the air flows that thus generate a downwash effect that helps to neutralize the infiltrations in the undercar. Bringing these adaptations from the RB18 to the Ferrari car will alter how the air flows over the side pods, generating a powerful downwash that will protect the raised floor from those troublesome infiltrations. The changes will also help to add more power to the vortices along the floor edge. That will help seal the underfloor. These changes will lead to a clear difference in the aero behavior of the car. The car should now generate a more powerful and extended depression map, thanks to less air infiltrating the underfloor compared to 2022. Despite the rise in ride height, you can see in the animation how much more air was able to infiltrate the underside of the car in 2022 than well in 2023. The outcome is much more downforce generation over a greater area shown by the red on the animation, like we said earlier. A big part of Ferrari's problem this year was its inability to balance drag and downforce. But the team will hope that the changes will fix that problem. If it works, then Ferrari should be able to work their tires much better without having to sacrifice too much top speed. It is very likely that other teams, in addition to Ferrari, will follow the direction seen this year by Red Bull for aerodynamics and beyond. By following this aerodynamic concept, The only problem Ferrari has is its suspension system, which it implemented on the F175. The RB18 used a pushrod suspension system at the rear of the car, meaning their dampers were all on top of the suspension system. What this meant for Red Bull was that with some clever packing, they could make more space for the venturi tunnels at the back of the car. This meant that the ground effect worked far better than many of the other cars on the grid. This is where Ferrari might hit a stumbling block. While copying Red Bull is all well and good, Ferrari uses a pull rod suspension system at the back of their car, meaning they can't make the space for a larger venturi tunnel like Red Bull have. It isn't all bad news for Ferrari though. While the bonnet and sides aren't designed to reduce the volume of the car, they do give space to the gearbox with a less extreme and tight shape than Red Bull's. The bigger space available allows Ferrari to arrange their suspension in such a way that the dampers are much lower in the car than Red Bull's. The lower center of gravity helps their stability and will be beneficial if they can catch up their lap time to Red Bull. If the leaks that we talked about in today's video are true, then Ferrari could actually mount a challenge against Red Bull and potentially Mercedes if they could get in the mix in 2023. No matter how good the car is, there are still other problems at Ferrari that need fixing, and the new team principal, whoever that ends up being, will have a massive job on their hands to match the expectations of a fan base still living in the 2000s. But can the Italian team get everything together to pull things back? Let us know in the comments section down below.